Hello lovely people, welcome to the video. My name is Athena. I am a new writer working on my first book whilst homeschooling my two girls and being with them 24/7, which is fun when you're trying to write. Now, I'm working on a fantasy romance. I am currently halfway through, maybe a bit more than halfway through, technically halfway through draft 3. And there have been a lot of roadblocks. I have officially been working at this book for 1 year. It is officially a year, which is insane to me because, wow. I think the one thing that I want to say on that is that, lovely. Interruption number 1 for this video. Let's move on. So the one thing that I just keep thinking when it comes to like, I've been working at this for a year, is that I have persevered for a year. I have moved country, I have moved house, I have lived with a family who did not think that writing a book was a thing that I should be doing. There's been illness and sickness and hospital visits and just so many things have happened in this 1 year. And I have persevered through all of that. And I'm still working on this book. And I am determined to finish this book and query this book and publish this book and whatnot. And I feel like that is a win that I will take and I will give it to myself and I will, we have to take the small wins, okay? I've been at this for a year. So many things have been thrown at me and I am still going. So I am very proud of myself for that. Because I will be honest, my ADHD brain is definitely prone to giving up on things. So, Now, moving on from that, in last week's video, I said that after a good 3 weeks of not writing due to moving house and having maintenance issues and just everything going wrong, basically, I didn't write for 3 weeks. And getting back to it, I wanted to finish the second part, the first chunk of part 2 of the book. So the book naturally breaks into 3 parts, part 1, part 2, part 3. Part 1 was a lot of rewriting from like scratch, a whole other ballgame there. Part 2 is pretty much the fun and games with it's pretty much fun and games, if we're being honest. So I'm currently, this also breaks into like 3 chunks, so to speak. So part 2, I'm done with chunk 1. I finished it. That was my goal up until Friday of last week. Today is Monday, the 14th of April. My goal was to finish that first chunk of scenes. And then I was contemplating, I was going to read the next chunk and kind of see where I'm at, read the draft 2 version and see where I'm at. I did all of that. I finished the first chunk of part 2. I read through the second chunk, which is 12 scenes at this point. I read through it. I've marked the places where I need to like do developmental edits and kind of change things to match what I have changed so far. I have to say, one thing I've noticed in both draft 1 and draft 2 and now in draft 3 officially is that halfway through the book just starts improving. The book is it's a whole different ball game. I don't know if it's because, technically the more you write, the better you get, I guess. So I feel like the minute I hit that middle point of the book, it just starts getting better. The story is more laid out, it's more set up, the characters are more set, everything just flows nicer, the writing is better. Everything is better halfway through. The second half of the book is always better than the first half. It is what it is, I guess. Technically, the first half of the first draft was terrible because it was my first ever draft. And then in the second draft, I had to completely rewrite the entire first part. So naturally, it wouldn't be any good, right? Right. Anyway, I digress. At this point, where we are right now, we are sitting at, where's my manuscript at, just for funsies? 85,000 words, specifically 85,179 words. I do have some extra little notes in there, so let's say 85,000. So 85,000 words, it is definitely going to be a 120K manuscript. There is no way around that. And in all honesty, I don't think the book will be any less than that, even after I've edited and fixed it. Maybe 110K. I doubt it really though. It's gonna be around that. I'm accepting that. It is what it is. It is a fantasy. Fantasy can kind of get away with that a little bit. So we'll see how that goes. What I am working on right now, we have the second chunk of part 2. My characters, the romance is romancing. The characters have come together and then been pulled apart again. from themselves really, and all around. Like, it's a bit of a forbidden romance, a bit of a we can't be together because circumstances are just not, like, it's not a thing that can happen, but at the same time they're being pulled together. I'm kind of playing around with the mates trope, like soulmates trope, but they're not the soulmates. It's a little more complicated than that. The romance is romancing, everything is kind of, moving forward. So my goal for this week is I have 12 scenes. The second chunk is smaller, like the smallest of the 3 chunks. So technically I feel like I should be able to get through it faster than I did the previous chunk. And the next chunk, we'll see how that goes. Not moving ahead, let's not fast forward, okay? We're here. So I feel like right now I can finish this chunk in this week. Like, of course, this week is Easter week. So Easter is on Sunday, which naturally, Easter Sunday, of course, we're gonna be with family, all that. So that's not happening. Technically, I shouldn't really have anything else to do. I should have time to write over the rest of the week. However, hubby isn't working on Friday or Saturday, so that does tend to pose a problem. So I'm gonna set 2 goals, like 2 separate kind of possibilities of achievement here. One, my overachieving goal, which is that I want to finish these 12 scenes this week. Okay, I want to finish the second chunk this week because it is, actually I'll talk about that in a second. Let's talk the goals and then I'll say why I think I can achieve it, okay? Okay, so number 1, high achieving goal, I want to finish these 12 scenes, okay? I want to finish the 12 scenes, this big chunk of their quest. It is a quest fantasy, just, if anyone was wondering. So the second chunk of their quest, I want to finish this week. My other goal, like alternate goal, is to at least finish half of it. To get through the 50% of it, so that next week I can then tackle the other half and be done with this in a couple of weeks rather than have it drag, like this book has dragged so much, this draft. Oh my God. Now, with that being said, this chunk does not have that much developmental editing to be done. Because let's be clear, this third draft is more so me making sure all the parts of the story are there. All the characters are in there, all the events that have to take place, the relationships, the situations. There's more interiority, more emotion, more a lot of things, but this is mainly focused on that developmental aspect and making sure all the moving parts are in place. This part now is actually pretty set. There are specific little areas that need to be kind of reworded, rewritten, just kind of set up in a little slightly different way, but slightly to match various changes, etc., that have happened in the first part and first chunk of the part 2, but nothing crazy. Like, I think there's only one part, like one scene that needs like a good bit of work. Everything else is pretty much like just flowing, just done. Little parts that might be left out completely because they don't match anymore. They don't, like whatever led to it doesn't exist anymore. So it's like easier edits. It's not so much. It's not as much as what I had to do up to this point. I feel like I can do that. I don't know. It's about how many pages, like as far as like my draft is concerned, okay? The second draft. It is literally 65, about 68 pages worth, A4 pages, right? We're past the half point. Look at that, we're past the half point. This is insane. I'm at like 265, page 265 of the second draft. And how many pages is my manuscript? And this is like Scrivener calculates it, but it's not perfect. Let's keep that in mind. At any stage, it's like it usually is off by, I would say, 20 to 30 pages, usually. That's my usual kind of. Okay, it's calculating. Okay, so, that's interesting. So see, but this is what I said. It's about 20 to 30 pages off usually, so I think we're around the same point. So we're at 239 pages in Scrivener right now, and the manuscript where I'm about to start is at 265, like the printed version. So again, 20 to 30 pages off, I think we're pretty much at the same, it's coming like at the same, it's coming in at the same, which is why I'm saying that it'll probably end up being, this draft will definitely be more than 120K because the previous draft, the ending Like draft two's ending is not, it needs a bit more added to it. Not too much, so it shouldn't be too much, but I think it'll hit. Okay, my battery died. What was I even saying? I was saying that this manuscript is probably gonna hit 130K. It is what it is, I'm fine with that. Edits, etc. will get it down to like that 120K, I'm sure of that. Because a lot of part one is gonna need, yeah, I definitely feel like I need to shorten part one, but we will deal with that in draft 4. That is future me problem, not me now problem. Me, right now, in this, yeah, I'm handling the second chunk of part 2. We are in the thick of the fun and games. My characters are like, you know, at this point, just, you know, for fun little facts for anyone who's reached the end of the video, the male main character definitely knows he wants this gal. The gal also has an inclination, but she's currently like, the plan is very different. Like I'm, you know, this is not how it's working out. Like I can't be here. I can't stay here. I can't do this. So how's this gonna work? It's fun. It's fun all around. Anyway, I am hoping to get those 12 scenes done this week. That is the ultimate goal. And if I don't, it's okay. I'm also tempted to try and do a writing vlog, like an actual writing vlog. I don't know if I'll be able to do it this week though. I think I'm gonna be a realistic gal and say, nah. I'm gonna get as much writing as I can this week, as much writing done as I can. I can't even speak, what am I even? As much writing as I can get done, that's what I'm gonna do, and just focus on that and getting through this week. Because again, with Easter coming, my brain kind of automatically is kind of putting things on hold. And then there's another thing we're doing tomorrow morning for Easter. Yeah, see? So this week's gonna be a tricky one. I'm gonna get as much as I can done. I think that's the main focus. As much as I possibly can get done. I am not giving up as per usual, and we will see how much I have gotten done by next week. The goal is to have as much as possible. 12 scenes, that is what we're dealing with. Let's see how many we get done. I will see you guys